A lot of us have been very confused when it comes to details about how Celeste was decomposed, but yet the medical examiner could still figure out the tattoo on her finger that read shh. This is where we heard a lot of speculation about Celeste possibly being frozen at one point in time, but the LAPD kind of kicking that theory to the ground. And I now want to give my own speculation theory of what this could be if Celeste was not frozen. Now, yet again, this is not confirmed. This is only speculation based off things that I've read on and tried to understand. Information is also going with me editing the photo that is out there in the public for everybody to see to try to get a clear picture. And it seems like this theory is very possible based off what I've seen of the photo of Celeste in the front of that Tesla. And before we go any further, I do want to say that I am going to try to keep this video easy digestible, but for most people, this video might be a lot. So if it's something that might trigger you, please go ahead and swipe away now. Now, I'm not going to show the edited version of this photo. If this is something that you guys are interested in seeing, you guys are going to have to do this yourself because I do want to keep respect of her photo not being out there because this is a child. Based off things that I have seen, it does appear that her head is attached to her torso. Now, as far as other limbs, I cannot be so sure. What's going to play a big role in what I talk about today is this big black bag that Celeste was reported to be wrapped in. Celeste being placed in a bag will slow decomposition by restricting oxygen from her being in that bag and insects not being able to get inside. And another huge thing to note, the breaking down of Celeste could have been even slower due to her not being fully intact. Now, like I said, I don't think that her head, like the LAPD is saying, was not attached, but the other limbs, like the legs and arms, might not have been. If this bag was actually sealed well and it created a low oxygen environment, there's also something else that could have happened to Celeste during this time. And I do want to say now there is multiple LAPD sources telling multiple different media outlets that they believe that Celeste passed away in the spring of 2025, and this could answer some questions about where Celeste could have been this whole entire time. And the truth is, with this theory, there is a huge possibility that Celeste could have been in the trunk pretty much the whole entire time. They wouldn't have had to hide her anywhere. Could have happened to Celeste during being in this bag is Adipocere formation. And this is a greasy or waxy substance that forms over the body, but it's important to note that this process typically takes weeks or months, not days. And as you can see, encasing the body in a bag creates an airtight environment, blocking oxygen and slowing regular decomp. Moisture trapped inside the bag combined with the environment provides ideal conditions for this process to take hold. It's also accelerated by warmth. It can preserve some things like facial features, wounds for a long time, which is significant in forensics, which could potentially be a reason why the medical examiner, though saying she was badly decomped at the time, he was still able to read the tattoo on her finger. Because in sense, she would have been decomposed, but certain parts might have been preserved. Now, even if this formation didn't occur, there is still ways that the medical examiner could have figured out Celeste's tattoos without her even having this occurring. There is infrared photography. This method can penetrate the skin and reveal tattoos that are invisible to the human eye. Hydrogen peroxide is a solution that has been used to temporarily remove dark decomp pigments, allowing the underlying tattoo to be photographed. A 3% hydrogen peroxide solution has been used to temporarily remove dark decomp pigments, allowing the underlying tattoos to be photographed. So photographic enhancement. Special photographing techniques and lighting can also be used to bring out details of a tattoo on somebody. Important to note, even if this process did happen from Celeste being in this bag, it would still give off a very unpleasant smell. And like I said, it would still take time for this formation to happen. It is up to weeks to months for this formation to happen. But in the early stages, it can emit a rancid, foul, or sweetish, offensive smell. And later stages are described as rancid smells associated with the fatty acids. So I know this is questions that a lot of people have been wondering, how Celeste, even from the end of July to September, even lasted in this hot Tesla trunk where the medical examiner was able to figure out her tattoo. This is where a lot of the speculations about the frozen theory came into play. But like I said, we do have the LAPD debunking that theory because it wouldn't absolutely make sense for her to arrive to the medical examiner frozen after spending at least 5 weeks in that Tesla. So I did want to go ahead and talk about the other scientific theories which could have happened to Celeste being preserved in the trunk of this Tesla without the frozen theory going around. Like I said, this theory does tie into things that we have seen, like Celeste being kept in this black bag. And also, like I said, I was able to see underneath this in this photo that I edited, trying to get a better, clear picture of this black bag. And I do feel like this is a huge possibility of what could have happened without the frozen theory coming into play. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.